Greetings, Houdini Python students. This is Chris Rhoda. Now, what we're going to be covering in this lesson is how to access your Python modules if you have developed them outside of the Houdini session. Now, I need to warn you that there are some good ways and some better ways of doing anything in Houdini. Now, I'm going to start with the best way and then work my way down from there. Now, suppose you happen to have a module that you want to develop outside of the Houdini session, then the best place for you to place this module is in a folder named Python 2.7 libs. And if I go into my installation of my program files, I'm going to pull down here, program files, we go side effects, Houdini. In Houdini, we see that there is indeed a folder here called Python 2.7 libs, and this is the location where all of the modules can be found and all the libraries. Okay, this is a great place, except that Houdini has a rather nasty tendency of updating its versions rather frequently, and your system administrator may not be too gung-ho on you adding your custom files to the DCC installation. A far better place to put them is in a folder named Python 2.7 libs that is listed in your Houdini path. Now you might be saying, oh great, what's my Houdini path? Well, don't run off and create a brand new system variable called Houdini path, as this will probably cause Houdini launch problems. Instead, let Houdini tell you where you can create this folder. And you can do that by going over to Windows, go to Python shell, pull out your handy Python shell, and then type in the command. Oh, let me get some, we're going to get a lot of results here, so let me open this window a little bit more. And I'm going to go Houdini path. Okay, and I'm going to enter this, and we got a lot of results. Now, these results here are the actual Python installation. We don't really want to install our library folders there, but this first location looks mighty tempting. This is my Cygwin home location, and I think it would be a great place to install my libs library. So what I'm going to do is get out of Houdini, because we're going to need to refresh this again in the future. Okay, discard and quit. And then I'm going to go into my Python installation. It's Cygwin 64, home, Chris. And then what I'm going to do is add a brand new folder here. I'm going to call it Python 2.7 libs. Okay, we've got the folder there now. Now what I want to do is actually create a good, simple little module that we can put in here. And I've got a little module here called combo.py. It's just a simple method that defines a function called combine, which takes two elements, A and B, and then returns the combination of the two. I'm going to go ahead and save this into that location. And it should be at C, Cygwin, home, Chris, Python 2.7 libs, and I'm going to call it combo, and then save that guy. Now I'm going to pause this while I reopen Houdini, and then we can check to see if the module has taken. All right, I've gone ahead and restarted Houdini, and remember that anytime you change any kind of system variable or path for Houdini, you're always going to have to exit Houdini and then restart it. Now, to test to see if our module went through, I'm going to open up the Python shell, and I'm going to try to import the name of my module, import combo. And we didn't get any errors, which means it went in. So just to give it a quick test, I'm going to go print combo, which is now the new namespace. So combine, and then I'm going to say this is a test of the HOM. All right, hit enter, and we see that the function did work and our module is successful. Now, an alternative way of importing your module where you don't have to create a specific folder with a specific name is by creating a system variable called Python path, which contains your module folder. Now, you're going to have to leave Houdini again for it to take place into effect. Now, everyone creates their own system variable a little bit differently, and so I'm going to avoid that and just show you how I have mine installed. I'm going to exit out of Houdini, and then I'm going to show you my environment inside of how I launch Houdini. And you see that what I have here is a variable called Python path, and I have it set to a folder in my Cygwin home called Python. And what I'm going to do now is create a little module that I can actually save to that location. Once again, we have just a simple little multiplication called mymult.py, and it just multiplies and it takes the multiplication of two input values and returns the product of them. I'm going to go ahead and save this to my Cygwin installation, Cygwin home, Chris, and this time it's going to be to Python. And I'm just going to go save my mult, and then we should be going through. Now I'm going to go ahead and restart Houdini, and then we can test our new module. I've restarted Houdini, and we are now back into our Houdini session. I want to open up the Python shell to test to see if our Python path module has gone through. I'm going to type in the import command, and the module is my mult. Oops, not mulked. My mult. Okay, no errors. And once again, with the object space, I'm going to say print my mult is the namespace. Mult, and I'm going to give it 34.56 and 69.69. Hit return, and we have a good product out of that. And so we know our module works. Now, the last method is to use the down and dirty exec file. Now, the exec file is a command that you can use to access any Python script on your computer that is readable. And you just do that by typing in exec file and then the name of the path of your Python script. All right, I've added a little program in there called myadd.py, and this should actually return the actual addition of two default values. Okay, 15.2. All right, cool. So we do know that that works. Now, this may not necessarily import the module into your Houdini session. You might have to do that separately. However, it is possible to just execute any possible Python script via the exec file command. Now, to recap what we discussed here, the best way of using your own custom module is to place them within to where the Houdini can recognize it either from the Houdini path or the Python path system variables. And when all else fails, use the exec file command, which will execute any Python script anywhere on your computer. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to learn how to configure your Python environment to whatever customization you want. I'll see you at the next lesson.